Whatever we give our continual gaze to, we typically bond with, right? That's why it's very important for you to watch what you see, right? And what you look at, but not only what you look at, but what you can imagine and what you can project in your mind is very important. Stop letting the algorithm control what you watch. Watch my full interview on INeverKnewTV.com Premium.
Can you explain what happens biologically when a child is not breastfed and does not receive enough oxytocin?
Yeah. You know, I remember when I started learning about all these different things, and I said, oh man, I knew I was a marked young person at an early age because my biochemistry was off. And when I learned about oxytocin, so oxytocin, not to be confused with Oxycontin, I'm going to talk a little bit about my drug addiction as well. Oxytocin, Pitocin, when they give a pregnant mother Pitocin, that's to induce the labor pains so the baby can come out, right, and be born naturally, okay? So that's Pitocin, which is the synthetic version of oxytocin. Also, the breast milk. So breast milk, prolactin produces the breast milk, but it's released through oxytocin, right? And then also, too, when the baby is breastfeeding from a mother, right? Not 25% of the time, 50% of the time, 75% of the time. Typically, almost 100% of that time, that child is nursing looking at the mother's what? Eyes. There's oxytocin receptor sites in your eyes. And whatever we give our continual gaze to, we typically bond with, my brother. So I remember, and I asked my mother because...
Hold on, say that again for the people.
Yeah, man,
say
look.
That again, please.
Whatever we give our continual gaze to, we typically bond with, right? That's why it's very important for you to watch what you see, right? And what you look at, but not only what you look at, but what you can imagine and what you can project in your mind is very important. So oxytocin is largely shaped from the mother. It's for three things: bonding, usually, and other things. Bonding, trusting, and loving is really what oxytocin is about. And they know this, that if your oxytocin system, it's like a biochemical grid. And I think about, there was a game called Operation. I mean, you're a little younger than me, but
I remember that
you remember
stuff,
Operation? Yeah, you stick it in. So your body comes like a blank canvas, but something has to activate it, or something can keep it what? Deactivated, right? In terms of, right, trauma, abuse, neglect, all those different things. So oxytocin, they know this, that if your oxytocin system, bonding, trusting, and loving, is not properly developed by the age of 2 or 3, you have a greater likelihood of addiction down the road. And I realized, looking back at the addictions that I had, I asked my mom, I said, Mom, did you breastfeed me when I was a child? She said, of course not. I didn't breastfeed you. I had 3 other kids that I had to contend with besides you. And I realized your immune system, your ability to connect, so many things are so important when it comes to the oxytocin production in your body, and we don't realize how important it is. But it's not just oxytocin, which is a neuropeptide, not actually a neurotransmitter, but it acts like one. But so many of these things are systems off, and we don't understand that we're setting ourselves up for addiction down the road because of the down payment that we paid in terms of childhood, in terms of neglect, abuse, alienation, right? All humiliation, all those things, and we never even realize that these things are happening to us.
And I appreciate that explanation, because I'm gonna have a lot of conversation with people on how we view drug addiction, and we don't view it from a biological standpoint. It's almost a shaming in a sense,
Yeah,
like it's your fault, and we don't understand the things
Right.
that lead the person to be chemically dependent
Absolutely.
on something,
Yeah. Yeah, and it could be for the rest of their lives. You know what I mean? My grid, because of what happened to me, will always be in some ways altered. So there are certain things that I have to do in order to avoid falling back right in the mess, right, that I was in. I always say you're one step away from falling right back in the addiction that you were in, right? And I realized that. So that's why having a relationship with the Most High, right? Having a wife, being married almost 27 years, a sister, right? Having 2 kids, having a sense of purpose, exercise. I still hoop even at 54 because a true baller never retires. I'm in shape, right? Oh yeah, especially when a young cat started talking trash. I say cats, I'm showing my age. But all of those things are very important for my biochemistry. And when I get away from that, my circadian rhythm changes, and then I change, right? And then I was like, oh, my wife's like, what is wrong with you, right? So I have to do that. And I'm sure we're going to talk about professional athletes and how when they walk away from their sport, if they don't fill it with productive things, it becomes very counterproductive and destructive. Stop letting the algorithm control what you watch. Watch my full interview on INeverKnewTV.com Premium.